How important is timing your nutrition when it comes to fat loss? If you want to go from looking like this to looking like this, how should you be setting up your plan? And what is your hierarchy of needs? Hey guys, this is Paul Ravella from ProPhysique.com, and today I got a video about our needs when it comes to fat loss, when it comes to how we time our training, how we time our nutrition, how we time our carbohydrates. And today's question comes from right here on my Instagram direct message. So first of all, guys, I want to say thank you for hitting that 400,000 mark on subscribers. I definitely noticed this weekend I was at a competition. Now, if you guys are looking for my content that's based around my competitors, I have a second channel. I would love for you guys to go there and subscribe. I'm looking to put a lot more content in there, like my podcast. We have some exercise selection videos and a lot of the blogs around what I do for a living, which is coach competitors. So there's a second channel for that called Pro Physique Studio. So go check that out if you're looking for some videos around that topic. But this channel, I really want to focus on what you guys are looking for, specifically for how to build muscle, how to lose fat. As a coach who's been doing this for more than a decade, I've done it myself, and I've helped hundreds and hundreds of people reach their goals. I wanted to talk to you about the question that I got today, so here we go. The diet exercise program I'm on has me eating 4 meals per day, tracking macros, but the suggestion is to eat more carbs the first 2 meals of the day, spreading the protein and fat out equally through all 4. This is suggested for the purpose of having more energy to get through the entire day. Do you agree with this strategy, or do you think it's better to even out the carb intake? I typically do my strength training workout in the morning around 5 a.m. and I usually do a second workout in the evening at 7:30. Lastly, as far as macros go, 200 pounds at 5'8", I'm 230 last year, so down 30 pounds, good job. My biggest goal is to both burn fat and build muscle if possible, to get to 15% body fat, then maybe get to that 10%. Everybody loves 10%. What macro percentages would you recommend? So a lot of questions here and a lot of things to unpack, but I want to talk about how I as a coach and how you as a person who's interested in getting your life in order to reach these goals can go about that. And I want to talk about this pyramid here, which goes all the way back to 1943. So in grad school, we learned about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and it made a lot of sense. And I think what's going to come down to here, guys, I'm going to relate the hierarchy of needs, things that we need as human beings, and things that we need as people that are trying to reach our goals for fat loss. First of all, in Maslow's hierarchy of needs, the most important things are the physiological needs. We need a roof over our head. We need food. We need water. We need shelter. We need clothing. We need to be able to be safe in the environment we're in. If you're not able to focus on the things at the bottom of the pyramid, when you're not going to be able to move up the pyramid, right? And so the same thing is going to be here for nutrition. So calories. Are you focusing on your daily calories? This is where every type of diet, fat loss diet, has to start. Now, if you're not tracking your calories, well, what can you do? A lot of people do things like fasting. A lot of people do things like, they remove entire macronutrient groups. They do either like a low carb or a no carb keto diet, right? Sometimes that can help because why? It allows us to reach our goal without doing things that we're not comfortable with. What I prefer, what I do with all my athletes, is we track our calories in the form of macronutrients, which it sounds like you're already doing. You're already well aware of that. So you're handling your physiological needs. Second, safety. You gotta feel safe, right? To be able to reach the best version of yourself, which we'll get to. Same thing I find with activity. Now, a lot of people are gonna say, well, you can reach your fat loss goals without being active. You can just restrict calories. I find that to be very limiting because what happens is as you restrict calories, your body gets good at burning less calories. It actually helps you be less active. I find that being active on a daily basis, and you're doing this, you're training, and you're also focusing on training twice a day or being active twice a day, that's gonna really help the fat loss process, okay? Because ultimately you're gonna be able to create that caloric deficit through activity, through controlling your diet, and being aware of what's happened. You've already lost 30 pounds, congratulations on that. But when it comes to the activity level, what I like to focus on are things that are sustainable, things that you enjoy, things that you like to do. A lot gets made of cardio, and I talk about this a lot. Walking, I have my treadmill right here in my office. I do it every day. It becomes a part of my day. So if you're handling these basic things, we can move up to some things that are more important. For human beings, that's a sense of belonging. That's a need for us. We need to feel like we belong to something. You ever wonder why people love to race cars or why they love to go to political rallies? A lot of it is belonging. You find a group of people. My group of people, one of them is the fitness people, right? I love going to bodybuilding competitions. I coach competitors. I love helping people that are looking to get into shape. These become my people. Why? Well, we have a lot in common. When you're handling a lot of these things and you start to get a sense of belonging and you find a group of people that you get along with, you really start to make progress. And that's why our transformation challenge has been doing so well the last couple of years. So this I relate to supplements. A lot of people like to put supplements early on in the process. They say, hey, should I be taking a fat burner? Should I be taking whey protein to build muscle, to lose fat, to do these things? If you're not taking care of your daily activities, if you're not taking care of your activity, your cardio, your training, supplements don't matter. It's only when you start to take care of these basic needs that supplements then become valuable, okay? So for someone like you, it sounds like you're already in such a good place. Supplementing might actually benefit you a little bit as far as working on building muscle and losing body fat, which you can definitely do at the same time. If you haven't been training for years and years, your body is still going to adapt to putting on muscle. And if you have more body fat than your set point would normally be, you can certainly lose that body fat while putting on muscle. Now we get up to the higher areas of this pyramid, okay? We're getting into some small areas. I'm gonna talk about esteem, okay? This is where you start to get recognized for your accomplishments, right? This is where all your needs are being met and you're doing some good things and people start to recognize them. That's on Maslow's hierarchy of needs for us as human beings, and I can confirm. It does feel good that you guys clicked subscribe so many times on my channel that I got 400,000 subscribers. Blows my mind. I still remember hitting 5,000 a couple of years ago and thinking that was a lot. So my esteem is good. Let's talk about how we set that up for fat loss and muscle building. A goal. We have to have a sound goal. Now, I coach competitive bodybuilders. When you know on October 23rd that you're gonna get on stage, I promise you, your workouts, your diet, your sleep, your recovery, your decision making is really based around that. This is why we run our transformation challenge, because it's 90 days, it's 12 weeks to make a lot of decisions for those final pictures. You, my friend, have made a lot of progress, and what's really important now is that you start to put deadlines on these goals. You wanna get to 10% body fat, taking pictures, and setting a goal. Now, I understand not everybody wants to do a competition, but if you have something coming up like a vacation, an event that you can shoot for, I promise it's gonna help you make the decisions that it comes down to meal prepping, the decisions that it comes down to whether you should go to the gym or not, the decision it makes on the weekends when most of us wanna cut loose a little bit, but this is when I find you can get ahead the most. When most people are knocking back a few drinks, staying out a little too late and missing their workouts, if you are getting to bed on time, getting your workouts in, and maybe having a sugar-free Red Bull instead of 3 vodka tonics, well, you might just put the wheels in motion. This is a lot of what I remember when I first started to get into actually really good shape, is that I started to change my decision making, okay? And it was small little decisions at the beginning. Then something really cool happened. So at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, when you get all this stuff met, they call this the self-actualization phase, where you can actually become the best version of yourself, okay? This is something that I think most of us go in and out of, right? Because right when you get to this self-actualization place in your life, well, you might go through somebody getting sick that you know. You might get sick. You might have to move. You might have to change jobs. You might find that these things at the bottom of this pyramid are not holding up the rest, and you've got to get back there. And I promise you, you'll notice when it happens. You'll just notice that your life is in a good routine. If you can keep up with this even through these high stress times, the highest stress times are, job changing, moving, getting married, getting divorced, these type of situations. Obviously, if anyone in your life that you care about is sick, pet dying, any of these things can be very, very tough. You can stay closer to this self-actualization phase, okay? This is the period where you can be the most creative, you can get the most done. For me, having my home office be completed has really changed my life because I get to see my kids every morning, I get to see them every night. I used to leave every day. So I have found in the last few months that things have been really the best they've been for me in a couple of years after we moved and did a lot of these things. And the same thing happens with our fitness, okay guys? When I was young, well, I'll say youngish, when I first got into bodybuilding in my early 30s, I'm 46 now, what I found was I would be really focused for those 18 weeks of prep, but when prep was over, I would tend to fall back into some of my bad habits, right? I would start to stay out late with my friends, my social life would be very important, but as I have gotten older and my routine has become the same, I call this daily behaviors. I no longer wake up and wonder what I'm gonna eat, what I'm gonna do. I get up every day and I do my cardio. I get up every day and I have the same breakfast essentially. I get up every day and I think, okay, today's chest day, today's back day, today's arm day. So I know my routine. It's like brushing my teeth, okay? So as far as your fitness goals go, I think you're doing a really good job, but focusing on when you should have your carbohydrates, early in the day, late in the day, it's not important when it comes to this. I will say this, the leaner you get, the less body fat you have, it is more important to time those carbohydrates around your workouts. I find that 4 to 5 meals a day when I get really lean helps me. Why? Because I get to have a meal every couple hours. The leaner you get, the more your energy is going to fade, and a lot of that can be changed based on how much you eat. However, when you're still 20% body fat, you didn't tell me what you are, but you said you're working your way down to 15 or 10, so I'm assuming it's a little higher. Those things aren't as important. Early on in the process, it's more important to just be consistent. I think if you're going to train at 5 a.m., your biggest carb meal should probably be right before bed. That way those carbs are digested and you can be consumed. But technically they're going to digest throughout the day anyway, so you can eat them at any time of day. I would likely have a large carb meal post-workout in the morning, but that would be my preference. I like to eat a lot of carbohydrates post-workout. Now, you're gonna restore that glycogen over the course of 24 hours. If you're training twice a day, it might benefit you to put most of your carbohydrates in between that workout. So you're restoring that glycogen for that second training session. Depending on what that second session is. If it's just cardio, I wouldn't be too worried about it. But remember, if we're focused on performance when we're in the gym and getting stronger, you wanna make sure those workouts are effective. So that's something to pay attention to. If you change your nutrition, you change your sleep, and you notice something is off with your training, look back at what you did. Could you implement a pre-workout, okay? If you're training at 5 a.m., maybe you can take a shot of Core Fury, shout out to Core Nutritionals, and get some stimulation, okay? Maybe it's important for you to get a little warm up, like doing some cardio. So I like to look at the schedule that I have and look at the opportunities, okay? So you've got a lot of goals, and I really want you to focus on, okay, as you progress, just fine-tuning it so that these things become daily behaviors. And that's really what this journey has been about for me. It's been about figuring out the things that I enjoy doing and just making them routine, and then I can become the best athlete that I can be, and hopefully the best person I can be, and hopefully you guys are having a great Monday. I'll talk to you tomorrow.